We're going to be learning now the Halakha Psuka for Friday, Parashat Korach, Chok Israel. These halachot have to do with what is permitted and not permitted to do on Shabbat. Hanotel tzipornav o se'aro, a person cuts his nails or his hair, o sefamo or his mustache, o zekano or his beard, hare ze toledat gozez vechayav. This is one of the subcategories of shearing, which is one of the activities that is forbidden to do on Shabbat. However, one would be liable for transgressing the activity that is forbidden on Shabbat in a way that is chayav, that is liable. Only if he cuts them with a tool, with scissors, with clippers, with that type of thing. But if he cuts them just with his hands, whether for himself or for other people, not that he's permitted to do that. Of course, it's not right to cut even with your hand. However, he has not transgressed the activity that is forbidden on Shabbat to the point of being liable, that if he did it by mistake, he has to bring a korban. If he did it purposefully, that if he was warned, that he will be taken to court to be judged. If he did it with a hand, it does not have the same severity as if he did it with a keli, with a tool. A person that cuts off a wart from his body, ben beyad, ben bakli, whether he cuts it with his hand or whether he cuts it with a tool, patu is exempt in terms of the liability of Shabbat, ben lo, ben leacher, whether he did it for himself or for another person. He should not do it. Okay? So you have to make a distinction between mutar and patur. Mutar is permitted fully. Patur, he should not do it, but if he did it, he has not become liable in terms of all the rules of the punishment of doing something that is not allowed on Shabbat. But in the Bet HaMikdash, the Kohen, let's say, that needs to do work and he has a wart, he's permitted to cut it bayad, only by hand, but not with a tool. But if the wart was totally dry, it was totally like dry skin, he's allowed to cut it with a tool, even with tool, and then he can work, do the service in Bet HaMikdash. The person that cuts off his hair bakeli with a tool, with a scissor, let's say, how many hairs should he cut to become liable for the transgression of Shabbat? 2 hairs. But if he was pulling white hair from amongst the black hair, somebody doesn't want to have white hair in his beard, let's say, and he finds one white hair and he pulls even just one white hair, chayav afilu achat chayav. He's already liable because the borer. כן, זה מדובר פה על שבת. עכשיו, באופן כללי, אם זה גבר, אז הוא לא עושה את זה. חוץ מאשר עם היתר מסוים, במקרים מסוימים. There's certain cases that will be allowed to do in the chor. We're talking about a man, where the man is allowed to pluck white hair from the black. It's considered to be more an activity that a lady would be involved in. And we're not, like similar to getting dressed in ladies' clothing, that type of thing. Only if... certain cases where it will be permissible on Chor. But on Shabbat, we're speaking about Shabbat, even one white hair, you don't have to pull 2 hairs. Even one white hair from the black ones, that will be also asur. Or not just asur, it will be chayav. Tziporen shepirsha ruba vetzitzin shel shepirshu ruban. What about a nail that's separated mostly, it's attached just by a little bit, or there's like skin, like a little bit of skin that breaks off? Are you allowed to pull it off or not? If they broke off on the top, towards the top, and they bother him, you're allowed to take it off with the hand, but not with the tool. And if you cut them off with the kli, since the majority was already off, just a little bit that was still left there, if you cut it all, even with a scissor, you shouldn't do it, but if you did patu, he's exempt from the punishment for liability of transgressing Shabbat. Ve'im enan metzahot oto, but if it doesn't bother him, there's a little bit of skin that is off, a little bit of the nail that is off, or even a lot, but it doesn't bother him. Asur le'notlan be'yado. Is forbidden to cut them even with his hand. Ve'im netelan ba'kli, if he cut them off with a kli, with a tool, since they were not bothering him, he would be chayav, he would be liable for the transgression of Shabbat. These were halachot that have to do with Shabbat, from Halachav Sukkah, Korach said Friday, Parashat Korach. Baruch Adonai Le'olam, Amen ve'Amen, and Shabbat Shalom.